Do the Eagles need to go after an edge rusher in free agency or via trade? They do, but they probably don't. And here are a couple reasons why. Number one, if they really wanted to, they can go after free agent defensive end Vinny Curry. Obviously, he's been an Eagle pretty much most of his whole career, except for 1 year, 2 years ago in Tampa Bay. Went there on a pretty, not a hefty contract, but, he got paid a little bit. And unfortunately, could not, was injured and just couldn't really do it. After 2017, went to the Bucks, didn't really have a chance to do anything. Ended up getting hurt, missing a few games. Was just not having a good year. Came back to Philadelphia last year in 2019. And honestly, Pro Football Focus ranked Vinny Curry, just for the Eagles, ranked him as the most productive defensive lineman we had last year, whether it's quarterback hits, pressures, getting his hands on the quarterback, you name it, Vinny Curry was there. And I know he had over I think he had over 4 or 5 sacks for the year. So for someone that just plays well with the Eagles, it just seems like Vinny Curry is just the only team he can play with is the Eagles. It just seems like his good luck charm for his career is with the Philadelphia Eagles. Number two, you don't sign anybody and you let some of these young guys compete and just let it flow the way it is. You have Derek Barnett that's getting some private little sessions in Tennessee, working his butt off to get back to what he should be as a first-round pick defensive end. Then you have Josh Sweat out there that's kind of, his rookie year, a fourth-round pick from Florida State, and he didn't really play well. I mean, obviously, he needed to bulk up a little bit, and he was like a science experiment for a while, for at least a year, until last year, he actually looked the most productive. He was getting to the quarterback. He was getting sacks. He was doing a pretty good job. What I noticed from Josh Sweat from his rookie year till now is that Josh Sweat, his explosiveness was pretty good, but getting off the line and getting into a tackle, and his motor was just really bad. He could not take it for a long time. He couldn't run through anybody for a long time. He couldn't try to get it. He run out of gas in the tank pretty much in 2 seconds. I mean, that's what I know from Josh Sweat. But this past year, he looked really good. Is he ever going to be a superstar? Hell no. Is he progressing? Definitely. Is he good enough to be a rotational guy for this team or any team for that matter? Yes. But Josh Sweat, it's not promising what Josh Sweat's going to do. I mean, I got to see something on a consecutive basis. If he's a good rotational defensive end and could do a lot for us, then hey, I would sign him for a couple more years. Why not? The third and final thing that we could talk about is you could take defensive tackle Malik Jackson and move him to defensive end. Now, about outside pass rushers moving to the inside or inside to the outside. A lot of teams have done it, okay, with matchups, and Jim Schwartz loves moving guys around. Malik Jackson, as of right now, is pretty much the backup defensive tackle to Javon Hargrave and Fletcher Cox. Malik Jackson signed a big 3-year, $30 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2019. He was going to play next to Fletcher Cox, and then after the first game of the season against the Redskins, he was pretty much hurt the rest of the year, torn ACL, never coming back, and that left a huge hole next to defensive tackle because Fletcher was just getting double-teamed the whole entire year, and it was a problem. So with what we have right now, you have Hassan Ridgeway being that backup. He was a nice little flash in the pan last year. He ended up getting hurt. I think he had a foot injury or something like that. But Hassan Ridgeway did a really good job when he was in there and got pressure. And he's not the fastest guy coming off the line as well, but he's tough and he holds double teams pretty well. If Jim Schwartz takes Malik Jackson, puts him to the outside instead of going out getting Vinny Curry or doing something like that and wasting a roster spot, if they just feel like Vinny Curry is, they need to move on, they could take Malik Jackson, put him at defensive end, and he could do it. Now, in Denver, when Malik Jackson was in Denver, even during the Super Bowl year, he never even moved to defensive end ever. I mean, not even once during that tenure he was with Denver. But he went to Jacksonville, and they actually moved him around a little bit. Calais Campbell as well. They kind of moved around a little bit to get some pass rush, depending on what teams and what they're doing. But with Jim Schwartz, for a fact that some of these guys, they love moving guys around. I mean, guys in our secondary will be moved around. Will Parks will be moved around. Roby Coleman will be moved around. You name it, guys are going to get moved around. And when it comes to the trenches and Howie Roseman, values the trenches before any other position, besides quarterback, of course, but he takes care of the trenches first. Now, they go out and get another guy, or you put Malik Jackson at defensive end, you have Fletch, Malik Jackson, Javon Hargrave, and Brandon Graham all in that starting spot. So instead of having Malik Jackson as a backup to Javon and Fletcher Cox, you could have Malik Jackson in there as a starter as well. Put him at defensive end, put Barnett behind him, and just see what happens from there. It's not a bad idea, obviously, but if Derek Barnett's not producing, they're going to do something during the season if it doesn't happen. I mean, I'm hoping not, but because I want Derek Barnett to work out. Obviously, I want Derek Barnett here for the long term, okay? That's what we need right now. So let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about rotation, Malik Jackson moving to defensive end, if that suits you guys, if you guys think that that's a good idea instead of going out and getting Vinny Curry and wasting a couple $1 million and doing that. Because our defensive line, there's like 3 or 4 guys making over $10 million a year right now, so it's a lot of money on our defensive line. We got an expensive defensive line right now. So let me know what you guys think about that. So I will see you guys later. Shakes what up, fly, fly.